One of the things I always tend to do when I first start a figure is I will create a second camera and I'll call it head cam. And I'm just copying the active view, the view that we're actually seeing right now. So that, and then I'm going to switch to that camera by going up here and selecting it. And that reminds me that that camera is meant to be like a real close-up of her face for the purposes of just adding makeup and maybe changing facial expressions, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do here. We're actually going to morph her face a little, just so I can show you what that looks like. Every character that I have that's actually, yeah, Genesis 3 or 8 characters are in here, I believe, maybe even more than that. And you can see that I can add or detract from that head shape. So if you see, I can kind of make her head smaller with the Biljana head. This one, I can change a little bit of the, whoa, that's a little bit much. I can change more of her face. A little bit down. So that gives you a really quick way of changing the look of the base figure. And you can also go into specific body parts. For example, here is the main head, but then if you kind of come back down into face, oftentimes I'll just go straight to face and go all the way down and start fiddling. In this case, I kind of just want to mess with her nose. It looks a bit too sunken in now. Yeah, it's kind of freaking me out. Okay, so I am going to pop in here. Let me see, where's her nose? There. So I'm going to look at the nose ridge and do a smaller nose, I guess. One of the things I really like about her nose is it's got a red tip to it, the main base character, Albany. And it looks really natural, like a real person would have. And I really like that about her. So that should be good enough for just fiddling. And you can go in here and change anything you want about her body or her face. In my case, I kind of do want to see, she looks a bit too sunken in. I kind of want to tone down. One quick tip, I'm going to go, wait, oh, that's right, I changed things on her head. You'll see, when you'll know that you've changed one of the settings if it's white over here instead of more grayed out. So just keep that in mind, that you may, if you're trying to find something, try to figure out where that sunken eyelid, under eye bags is coming from. It might be coming from her. So yeah, all right, so that's one way to do it, and you can spend a lot of time with this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the project I'm working on. It's annoying me that that is actually misspelled. But whatever. Okay, don't yell at me in the comments. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is move this arm out a little bit because I know I probably will want some kind of big hair on her of some kind. So then the thing I'm going to do next, though, is I tend to do makeup before I do hair. And for whatever reason, the makeup choice helps me decide on the hair sometimes. So I need to go back to my figure. And I'm going to go find Albany. One of the weird things about Albany is I can't seem to apply her eye makeup and lipstick to any other character. They're sort of stuck with her. I'm not really sure why that is. If anyone knows, has a solution, because I love her makeup and her eyes. The options for those I really love, and I'd love to use them for other things. But I haven't figured out why. When I try to apply her eye makeup to somebody else, it'll actually turn their whole face white, which is bizarre to me. I haven't really come up with a solution for that. I'm sure it's really simple. One of the things I really like about Albany's eye makeup is that it's really, she's got that great cat eye look with some of these. I absolutely love that about her face. And I'm going to just choose something on the purple end of things. Actually, I might do something light. They always say do light lipstick if you're doing heavy eye makeup. You know, the professionals, that's what they say apparently. I think her base figure comes with some pretty long nails, if I remember correctly. They seem long, don't they? Yeah, they're a bit too long for me. I'm more of a short nail kind of girl. So one of the things I will do is I'll go up here to actor, I believe, and I'll type in nails. Or is it nails? Or maybe it's Albany. Now I can't remember how I did this. Well, they're here somewhere. I think it's under hands, if I remember correctly. So I don't want head. Hands. Whoa, what happened? I lost her. Okay, and this is usually a setting that's Musso nails. So if I just put it to 0 instead of 100%, it goes down to more normal size. Okay, so I'm going to turn her around, and a quick way to get back to where your character is, you choose this frame option. So, and I'm going to pop back down here again. And now it's time to choose her hair. So we're going to take a look over here at the hair. Again, if you're looking for hair in the main system, you would look under people, and then I think it might just be hair, or under figures or characters or something. So for me, I have my own major large hair area where I have everything listed. And I think I want to go with Virginia hair, since I've never gotten a chance to use it for anything yet. Nice. And I'm sure there's some hair issues with, you know, where it's actually, you know what? Just to save time and not have to deal with moving that hair around, which we'll do in a different tutorial, I'll choose something small, like, maybe Gigi hair. Yeah. Okay. There's probably still some hair in there, isn't there? Let's try a different one. This is what I'll do sometimes if I don't want to waste any time. Actually, this is a good one. I will, oops, I actually have to have Albany selected. There's Coco hair hanging out in front of her. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud, I haven't selected her again. There we go. Voila. Now I can do materials and change your hair color, and I always use the iRay engine. If you prefer 3-to-light, you would choose that option. So I've got the hair base, and I think I might just do a different color under. I don't know, I haven't looked at that before. I also don't have the text or the accessory pack that allows you to have more hair color. Eventually I'll buy that. All right, So let's have a look at this. We're just looking at the iRay view of it to see how it's going to turn out. Looks nice with the red hair. And I actually, part of it is not just about the pose that you choose, it's also the angle you choose to keep your render window. So you can do some really dynamic views of a character, you know, put them in the pose and then kind of swing the camera around to decide what looks the coolest in terms of where you want your camera for the final render. And we'll just leave it at this for now. And I'm going to go back to texture shaded, which works great for when you're building a character. And I think I might do a view like this, so you can kind of see her face. I might do a little bit sideways. Let's see. Maybe like, see what it looks like from the full side. That's kind of nice. I kind of want to move her leg up a little bit so her feet are not crossing right there. So it's kind of nice. And if I was taking more time, I would probably pose her hair a little bit more better. Normally I would go find the right setting and make it all go back like that. You see how it's usually not this complicated. There's usually not this many settings. I haven't actually played with this hair much. So let me give you a short look, a real quick look at how this might look if we rendered it. And just so that you can render, some really quick things to do for lighting. You can actually just leave it as a base light with nothing else in it and just use let's see, a render setting. If you go over to the render settings tab, there's some different options here. You can change the size, the pixel size of how big you want your render. You can also change the window. Let's say you wanted it landscape. This is 6:9, so the width is smaller than the height. If I wanted it landscape view, I would just switch this around, 9 and then 6. And there's a lot of custom, or not custom, there's a lot of classic sizes, so you can do that. And you want to choose a name for your render, and you want to save it on your hard drive, so you would click in here and go find some folder to put it in. And the main thing to note about progressive rendering, that there's some main things that I will play with. One of them is general, and where I change the size of the render. The other one is progressive rendering, and I will usually use these settings. I'll go to max samples, max time, and I usually change this like to 3 or 5 or 2 sometimes. And often I will use 98.5 for the converged ratio. I won't go into what any of these settings are. I just want you to be able to render quickly and have a good result. So I would just leave it at the base map if you just want a quick one render to see how this ends up looking. And the base map is this ruins image that looks really blurry and kind of frankly ugly, but it actually does a fairly good job. You can see she's got some nice rim light on the back of her. So it would probably look all right to leave this, all the rest of the settings like this. And that should do it for this particular episode. We will see you next time for some more in-depth character creation. And if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, let me know in the comments, and feel free to subscribe to the channel to catch some more episodes. Thanks.